Today, I'm reviewing the 1999 film adaptation of My Favorite Martian. Now, as an adaptation of the 1960s television show, this movie ain't all that great. It changes a fair bit. It takes place in the 90s instead of the 60s, there are differences with the characters in order to update them, and instead of sort of having just a situational comedy sort of feel to it, where you could kind of believe what was going on, it's a pretty standard plot like you would expect from E.T., you know? Alien trying to get home, people trying to stop him to dissect him, blah blah blah. But that doesn't mean for a second that this film doesn't have any positives. For example, the humor may not be as timeless as the 1960s series, and it may in fact be immature at points because they're trying to aim more towards younger kids. But there were still instances that made me laugh and crack a smile. And the characters, although different, are still well written enough that I care about them and what happens to them. All in all, I would say even though this movie has a pretty basic plot and isn't a very good representation of the original series, it's a really great movie and you should give it a go. At least that's what I would say if it wasn't for the character Zoot. Zoot is Uncle Martin's spacesuit, who serves as the comic relief for this movie. All that immature humor I mentioned earlier comes almost exclusively from him, and it makes him pretty damn annoying. But the dynamic between Tim and Martin leads to comedic instances that are actually strong enough, in my opinion, to carry the movie. They didn't need Zoot, but they shoved him in there, probably for some humor for the kids, and it just makes the whole movie suffer as a result. At the end of the day, I like this movie, but then again, I watched it as a kid, so I'm gonna be nostalgic for it. If I really think objectively, this movie does have its good points, and I don't think it deserves the hate that it has gotten in some circles. But you're not missing anything amazing if you decide to pass it up. So I'll go middle of the road and give it a solid 2.5 out of 5. If you want to give it a try, go ahead, but you're not missing anything special. To space!